a German-born Syrian American, honored by the Carnegie Foundation of New York as a great immigrant, a composer, a pianist, and a founder for Pianos for Peace, Malek Jandali.
Salam, peace. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to join you here at Harvard tonight and share the stage with the first Arab woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize, Ms. Tawakkol Karman. And with Raed Saleh and Farouk Al-Habib, the directors of the White Helmets, my dear Syrian heroes. It's great to be back. It's great to be back at Harvard Arab Weekend, and it's a privilege to be on this historic stage where Winston Churchill, Theodore Roosevelt, and Martin Luther King, among many leaders, have spoken here. This beautiful theater is part of an amazing building that was built in memory of Harvard graduates, particularly 136 men who sacrificed their life for the Union during the American Civil War. Just prior to entering this historic stage, I learned that little Fatima, in my beloved homeland Syria, was killed today. She only lived for 2 months in beautiful Aleppo. 2 months. That's her life. And when I saw her picture on my iPhone, I asked myself, is it really appropriate to play and perform the piano for you tonight, or should I be silent? That was painful, huh? Silence. Now, before I begin, I want everybody to breathe, relax. My message is a positive one. I'm not trying to scare anyone. Let's all take a collective breath on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Would you please stand up and join me in a moment of silence for little Fatima and all the victims of injustice in our world? Thank you. I tell you the story of little Fatima not to raise a political issue or to bum you out, but to share what's happening in the world right now. Let me be very clear. I'm an artist, I'm a composer and a pianist, simply searching for beauty and truth. I'm not a politician. I don't belong to any political party, nor organization, nor any type of group, even though many Arab Americans accuse me of being though. I'm just an artist. I'm an American artist, and I enjoy my freedom. Music is my life, it's my passion, and I love what I do, and I do what I love, and music is my life. The main question I want to raise today is, why is the world, or the majority of the world today, is enjoying this silence that we just experienced a few moments ago, while babies are being killed? We have babies drowning in the Mediterranean, and we are just turning our back, sending space shuttle to Mars, looking for water, and we have babies drowning and experiencing the most painful, excruciating death. That's the state of dehumanization that we are experiencing today. I'm actually still searching for the proper terminology for this reality, and I leave it up to you, Harvard students, scholars, faculty, and staff, and people of conscience all over the world to figure it out. What are we witnessing today? I mean, we all have seen the amazing election we had 48 hours ago. Imagine Donald Trump here on the stage where we had, Martin Luther King and all the other leaders. My only tool is music, but make no mistake, I'm not a tool. This is my instrument, but I'm not a tool. I don't belong to anybody. I belong to my conscience and to the truth. I travel all over the world to refugee camps to check on these amazing babies. And the painful result in the world, we have Holocaust survivors, millions of them, in the sea, on the land, in Syria, in Jordan, in Yemen, in Sudan, in Kenya, in Germany now, where I was born. I wasn't even born in Syria. I was born in Germany. But it's my human duty to preserve and present the cradle of civilization of Syria, because we have the oldest synagogues, we have the Silk Road and the churches of Jesus Christ, where we can hear the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, being destroyed right now. I'm not discussing the Holocaust of Auschwitz in the past, nor Syria 2025 in the future. I'm discussing the Holocaust right now for little Fatima. Ladies and gentlemen, what are you doing to give little Fatima a voice of humanity? I was invited to Oxford and I met Farouk al-Habib there, and we were supposed to have the Dalai Lama at Oxford. And prior to my panel discussion, I was preparing, unlike today, because I was really sleepless for the last 2 nights after the election. And the panel discussion was about migrants in Europe. So I opened the Oxford Dictionary and I looked up the definition of migrant. And here is what it reads. Number 1, the migrants, right? Have you heard it in the news? Migrants, 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 migrants. Have you? Okay. Number 1 for migrants, an animal migrating, usually a bird. Number 2, the definition of migrant, a worker who moves from place to place to do seasonal work. Really? Is little Fatima and all those people in the Mediterranean Sea are animals or workers seeking seasonal jobs? That's shameful. Why don't we call things by what they truly are? If you are a Holocaust survivor or an Assad survivor, you are not a migrant. Why escape to an ambiguous future or a fictitious past? I still don't know about all these history books, who wrote them and what's going on. But why escape the ambiguous future or the fictitious past, or vice versa, or maybe both, to escape the reality right now, the Holocaust that we are actually experiencing right now? I remember a Syrian boy on the operating table in one of the refugee camps, in what we call the civilian hospitals. It is anything but a hospital. This Syrian boy, most probably rescued by the amazing white helmets. This little boy was looking up on the operating table, looking at the doctor, and the last thing he said, بدي أشكيكم لله. I'm going to tell God everything. And he died. بدي أشكيكم لله. And now he is resting in peace rather than living in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we live in peace rather than resting in peace and go to funerals and say, oh, may you rest in peace? How about we live in peace? Because we greet each other as Muslims, as Arabs, peace, as-salam. Today I will be performing melodies from destroyed Aleppo, from destroyed Homs, from Baba Amr, from Idlib, from places I have never been in Syria, from Kafr, and that's going to break the agreed upon silence that we are experiencing today. Let's face it, the world has agreed to be silent. It's a shameful silence, not to give little Fatima a voice. I'm going to integrate all these melodies you're going to hear in my symphonies. I produce, and it's my duty as an artist, I produce symphonies every year, and I release them at Carnegie Hall. It's my duty to preserve my culture, my cultural identity, my heritage as a Syrian, as an Arab American, at the very same moment where my identity and my culture and my people and my country and the Silk Road is being destroyed. That's difficult to do. What are you doing? انتهى عهد الصنم، سوف يقاومكم الألم ويهزمكم القلم والنغم. Ladies and gentlemen, if music can disturb a brutal dictator who then makes an executive decision to come to my mother in her bedroom and beat her in front of my father, handcuffing him and beating my mother less than 72 hours after my performance of my song وطني أنا, I am my homeland. And Farouk al-Habib went to my home in Homs in solidarity with my mother. I'm asking journalists and friends who are very dear to me, have you really gave my mother a voice when she was beaten in her mother room, or you were like covering something else or being politically right? Can you imagine a piece of music that is so powerful, so thought-provoking, so meaningful, when you hear it, rather than the dictator making a decision to beat my mother, we all experience peace. I'm imagining a bomb dropping on people with serenity, with peace. Because we create bombs, chlorine bombs, destruction, catastrophe. How about a bomb with music and peace where everybody experiences that serenity? No more different languages. We are all a symphony of humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, the term symphony in Latin, symphonia, means to sing together. I invite each one of you to join my symphony for peace, my human symphony for peace, to sing together for little Fatima tonight. I would like now to perform for you a simple melody from destroyed Aleppo in memory of little Fatima. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was in memory of little Fatima. And my question to you, can you imagine the world today without music? Total silence. I would like to show you what my ancestors in Syria invented. My ancestors in Syria, when they were free and when they didn't have a dictator, they created the A, B, C, D, E, even F, the letters. And they invented the alphabet of music. This is a tablet about a piece of music that is 3,000 years ago, 1400 BC. It's about a woman who couldn't bear a child, asking God to have a baby. And as a composer, enjoying my freedom in this country, it is my duty not to play Hawar Yabul Huwara or Feyruz and all this stuff. We need to change the narrative and be impactful and go to our cultural identity, for God's sake, especially at this time. And we need to respect artists. It's about time for Arabs to respect art. مش رقاصة and قلة أدب on stage and falafel and all. We need to respect art. There's a difference between entertainment. Don't get me wrong, I love Lady Gaga. But there's a difference between entertainment and art, especially when you're babies and brothers and sisters are drowning. Ladies and gentlemen, humans are drowning. People are having chlorine. I'm not discussing politics, ladies and gentlemen. I'm discussing humanity. What are you doing, Harvard? Where are the books and the articles exposing dictatorship as Americans? Isn't it about time to respect time, respect artists, respect yourself, so people in the whole world respect us? We are witnessing the eradication of our culture, of our religion, of our people, of our nation. Let me play for you what my ancestors and my own interpretation of the oldest music notation in the world that has never been performed at Harvard. It is my honor to have the world premiere of Echoes from Ugarit, my interpretation of the oldest music notation in the world. Enjoy it. being an American, I have the privilege that many people around the world do not get to experience, self-expression. I'm enjoying my freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a gift I urge you all not to waste. And that's why I have my foundation, Pianos for Peace. And the mission, I'm a musician on a mission, and my mission is to make the arts accessible to all and spread peace. I want everyone in the audience today to leave knowing that art and music is not debke. It is meaningful. We can present our qadiyya and our Holocaust throughout all nations. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go to soccer games or the Olympics, how is Saudi Arabia or Cuba or America or Syria presented? Do we know, oh, we have the shortest building in the world, or we have the tallest, or the GDP, or how much money we have? No. When you have Brazil playing at the World Cup, 2 pieces of art. The national anthem, which is music, موطني موطني, and a flag, a piece of art, summarizing the victims who sacrificed their lives for freedom and for that nation. That's the cultural identity. مش حماس and دبكة and this and that and disrespect. My challenge to everyone here is to get involved, express yourself. I invite you all to be part of my human symphony for peace. Please, let's sing together. Let's sing together for Syria now. Not Syria 2025. I went to many fundraising and they discuss the situation. Situation? Or the events in Syria. Events? This is an event, the opening of the Harvard Arab Weekend. This is a beautiful event. But event in Arabic is أحداث أو حدث. The Hama massacres in 1982 weren't events, أحداث Hama. They were crimes against humanity and genocide. So let's be real, let's be authentic and call things what they are. Don't call the Syrian babies migrants, and don't call the crimes against humanity in Hama أحداث. Please, let's change the narrative together as journalists, as scholars, as humans. Everything has an end. I'm ending my speech. I'm going to quote Albert Camus. Albert Camus once said, no matter what cause one defends, no matter what cause one defends, it will suffer permanent disgrace if one resorts to blind attacks on crowd of innocent people. Let me repeat this quote. This is my favorite quote ever. No matter what cause one defends, it will suffer permanent disgrace if one resorts to blind attacks on crowds of innocent people, humans, babies, no matter what it is. My music is dedicated to you, to humanity, especially to the suffering children who are trying to make permanent good in our world. Ladies and gentlemen, you, each one of you, you are my hope. And my hope is peace, salam. I invite you to live in peace, not to die in peace. Please join me in my symphony for peace and salam.
understand most of you have been sitting for a while, so if you want to just get up and stretch just for a bit, but please don't leave. We're going on to our next diligent keynote. We have Mr. Raed Saleh with us. Raed Saleh is age 32. He leads more than 2,800 interpret, search, and rescue volunteers as head of the Syrian civil defense known as the White Helmets. These unarmed and neutral civilians have saved more than 40,000 lives in Syria by today. Before the Syrian civil war, Raed was a businessman who sold electrical equipment. After the start of popular protests in March 2011, Raed began organizing peaceful demonstrations in his hometown, Jisht al-Shuhur. Just weeks later, the Syrian army entered his town, forcing him to go into hiding in Turkey. He returned to Syria in 2012 after parts of Idlib were liberated from the Syrian army. There, he worked in the humanitarian field, helping refugees and displaced persons. In June 2013, he attended a civil defense training courses in Idlib, tackling the difficult exercises with grace and leadership. Raed was elected by his teammates to be their representative. Over the following 12 months, he created 20 more teams in Idlib and was appointed as head of the Syria Civil Defense. Raed is married with 2 children, a 10-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. He's a true exemplar of finding solution in time of despair, of selflessness and courage, and of loyalty and empathy. All features we as youth should be reminded of as we aspire and move beyond the present. Also joining him afterwards for Q&A will be the co-founder of the Syrian White Helmets, Farouk Habib. Please welcome.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. شكرا جميعا لجميع الطلاب العرب في جامعة هارفارد لهذه الدعوة.
I would like to thank all the Arab students at Harvard for your invite.
يسعدني أن أتكلم هنا أمامكم لأنقل جزء من المعاناة داخل سوريا.
It gives me a great pleasure to speak before you tonight to convey part of the great suffering in Syria.
ولنوضح لكم بأن في سوريا ليس هناك فقط معاناة بل هناك أبطال يعملون في الليل والنهار لصناعة مستقبل مشرق لحضارة عمرها أكثر من 7,000 عام.
And to point out that in Syria there is not only suffering but heroes who are working to build a future worthy of a civilization of 7,000 years old.
ومن أحياها بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا.
Verse from the Quran, he who saves one life saves all of humanity.
من هنا انطلقنا وهذا شعارنا.
This is where we started and this is our slogan.
إنقاذ إنسان يعني لنا إنقاذ البشرية جمعاء.
To save one human life means to us saving all of humanity.
من بداية 2013 عندما بدأت تخرج المناطق عن سيطرة النظام السوري.
In 2013, when many areas in Syria started to leave the control of the regime,
بدأ النظام باستخدام الطيران الحربي لاستهداف المدنيين والتجمعات السكنية والمرافق الحيوية.
the regime started to deploy air force to target civilians, vital centers, and residential areas.
فبدأ هناك مجموعة من المتطوعين في مدينة حلب.
A group of volunteers in the city of Aleppo started
بالاستجابة لتلك الضربات ومساعدة الناس من تحت الأنقاض.
So that group started to respond to these airstrikes and to pull people from under the rubble.
لقد كانوا من خلفيات مختلفة. لقد كانوا نجارين وأطباء ومهندسين وطلاب جامعات ومزارعين.
They were of different backgrounds. They were carpenters, doctors, teachers, farmers, and something else.
كانوا يعملون بالمعدات التي توفرت بين أيديهم. استعملوا المعاول الزراعية ومعدات البناء لإنقاذ الناس من تحت أنقاض التي دمرتها طائرات النظام.
They used whatever primitive tools they could get their hands on, agricultural shovels, construction tools, anything they could master to pull people from under the rubble.
وانتشرت تلك الظاهرة المتطوعين لتشمل عدد من المحافظات السورية ومنها إدلب وحما واللاذقية ودرعا ودمشق وريف دمشق.
This phenomenon of these volunteers started to spread all over Syria, in Latakia, in Dar'a, in Damascus countryside, in Homs.
وبمساعدة بعض الجمعيات الغير حكومية تلقينا بعض التدريبات في تركيا.
We received some training by an NGO or some NGOs in Turkey.
وبدأنا على إنشاء نظام إداري يضبط تلك عمل هؤلاء المتطوعين داخل سوريا، فأنشأنا مراكز رئيسية ومراكز فرعية وقيادات للقطاعات وإدارات للمحافظات حتى تستطيع من إدارة تلك العمليات.
And from there we started an administrative structure for our work. So we started to divide the country into big sectors, and then primary centers and secondary centers in every sector and in every governorate.
وبتاريخ 25/10/2014 اجتمعت كافة قادة القطاعات ومدراء المراكز في اجتماع واحد، وبعد مباحثات لمدة يومين قمنا بالتوقيع على ميثاق المبادئ الذي ينظم عمل فرق البحث والإنقاذ في سوريا، وتم الاعتماد الرسمي للاسم الدفاع المدني السوري.
On October 25, 2014, the leaders of these different sectors and centers convened for 2 days, and we all agreed on a pact or on a code of principles, and the name the Syrian Civil Defense came to existence.
كما نص ميثاق المبادئ على احترام حقوق الإنسان والعمل دون تمييز ومساعدة كافة أطياف كافة السوريين من بين خلفياتهم المختلفة دون تمييز بناء على العرق أو الدين أو الانتماءات السياسية أو العسكرية.
So our agreement basically contains the respect for human rights, and we promised to extend our services to all Syrians of all backgrounds, regardless of their religion, sect, ethnicity.
وبعدها أطلق علينا اسم الخوذ البيضاء من قبل أصدقاء ونشطاء يعملون في المجال الإنساني في أوروبا وأمريكا.
The name The White Helmets was dubbed of the Syrian Civil Defense by activists working in the humanitarian field in Europe and in America.
وبدأ العمل يتطور مع توسع وازدياد عمليات القصف الجوي في كل أنحاء سوريا، حتى وصلنا اليوم إلى 3000 متطوع، ونعمل في 8 محافظات موزعين على 120 مركز.
Our work expanded as the airstrikes of the regime expanded, and we are up to 120 centers with 3,000 volunteers in 8 different provinces or governorates of Syria.
استطعنا إنقاذ حتى الآن أكثر من 70,000 إنسان من تحت الأنقاض.
We have saved more than 70,000 people from under the rubble.
ولكن بسبب الاستراتيجية العسكرية التي كان يتبعها النظام منذ 2013 والتي اتبعها أيضا الطيران الروسي بعد تدخله في 31/9/2015 التي هي الضربات المزدوجة، فقدنا أكثر من 147 من أصدقائنا وأخوتنا الذين يعملون أثناء تأديتهم واجبهم الإنساني.
However, because of the strategy that the Syrian Air Force started deploying in 2013, which was later adopted by the Russian Air Force after intervening on September 31st, 2015, which is that double tap, we lost 147 of our volunteers while performing their humanitarian duty.
حيث يقوم الطيران بقصف أول مرة وتذهب الطائرة حوالي 10 إلى 15 دقيقة. هنا تصل فرق الخوذ البيضاء والمسعفين وتعود الطائرة مرة أخرى لتقصف نفس المكان لتوقع أكبر عدد ممكن من الضحايا المدنيين والمتطوعين الذين يعملون على مساعدة الجرحى وانتشال الشهداء من تحت الأنقاض.
So a double tap is where a plane or a jet fighter would strike, and then as the first responders teams arrive on the scene, it comes back for a second strike in 10 to 15 minutes, so that the number of casualties among the first responders and the civilians in the area is maximized.
وبعد التدخل الروسي في سوريا وبدء استخدام أسلحة محرمة دوليا مثل القنابل العنقودية التي كان لها الأثر السلبي الكبير على حياة المدنيين وعلى أمنهم الغذائي أيضا.
And after the Russian intervention and the utilization of cluster bombs, which had the worst effect on civilian casualties and furthermore on the food security of the regions they were deployed,
قمنا بتشكيل فرق خاصة للتعامل مع القنابل العنقودية واستطعنا بعد تلقي الفرق التدريبات من قبل فرق خاصة استطعنا من إزالة حوالي 2000 قنبلة عنقودية وتنظيف حوالي 156 موقع بشكل كامل.
We established special teams to deal with cluster bombs that received special training, and we were able to remove or to cleanse 156 locations of 2,000 different bombs or bomb pieces.
ومن إيماننا بدور المرأة بتحقيق الأمن والاستقرار في المجتمعات كان لها دورا أساسيا منذ انطلاق العمل.
Believing in the great role women should play in the safety and security of society, we always had women front and center in our work.
وعملنا على وضع الخطط لتمكين دورها، حيث تم وضع خطة لافتتاح أكثر من 64 مركز خاص بالنساء للوصول إلى كافة شرائح المجتمع.
We always had plans to empower women, and we established 64 different centers dedicated for women's health and issues.
وضمن العمل ضمن الخطط التي وضعت نتوقع بنهاية آذار 2017 يكون تمثيل المرأة ضمن الخوذ البيضاء أو وجود المرأة ضمن الخوذ البيضاء تجاوز 40%.
We expect that by the end of March 2017, women participation in white helmets to exceed 40%.
نحن في الخوذ البيضاء هدفنا خدمة أهلنا في سوريا بغض النظر عن انتماءاتهم الدينية أو السياسية.
We in the white helmets strive to serve our people in Syria regardless of their religious or political affiliations.
والقاعدة التي نعمل عليها هي إنقاذ أكبر عدد ممكن من المدنيين بأسرع وقت ممكن.
Our rule is to save as many civilians as possible and as quickly and as fast as possible.
وحسب الظروف التي تمر فيها سوريا فإن الحاجة الأساسية لوجودنا هي في المناطق الخاضعة لسيطرة المعارضة التي تتعرض للقصف الجوي بشكل يومي.
Given the conditions in Syria today, our primary role remains in the opposition-held areas.
من قبل الطيران النظام السوري وطيران الروسي وأيضا طيران التحالف.
It is in these areas that people are under the constant bombardment of the Syrian and Russian air forces in addition to the coalition air forces.
ولكن هذا لن يمنعنا من التخطيط للوصول إلى كل المناطق الخاضعة حاليا لسيطرة النظام أو الخاضعة لسيطرة داعش، ولكن في مراحل مقبلة حيث يسمح لنا بالعمل في تلك المناطق.
That said, this will not stop us from planning to expand our work into the regime-held areas and the ISIS-held areas in the future.
نحن نطمح لأن نكون الجهاز الحكومي التابع للحكومة السورية التي تلبي تطلعات الشعب السوري في المستقبل.
We aim and we have the ambition to be the official governmental body as part of a legitimate future government that represents the people's aspirations.
ولكن في ظل غياب أي دور فعال لأي حكومة شرعية في سوريا، ظهر الدور الفاعل للمجتمع المدني السوري، وكنا نحن إحدى منظمات المجتمع المدني في سوريا.
However, absent any effective and efficient legitimate government in Syria, the Syrian civil society had to step up, and we had to take a major role as part of that effort.
حيث أخذ المجتمع المدني على عاتقه كثير من الأمور التي هي بالأصل من عمل الدولة بشكل أساسي.
We had to tackle several areas that normally would be the job of a government.
ومنها التعليم والخدمات والنظام الصحي ونشر الوعي بين المجتمع.
Those included education, basic services, and raising society's awareness.
وإن اليوم المجتمع المدني في سوريا هو المستجيب الأول للأزمة الإنسانية، وقد قدم كثير من الشهداء أثناء تأديتهم لواجبهم في المناطق التي يعملون بها.
The Syrian civil society remains the first responder to the crisis, and numerous martyrs have been sacrificed during this role, and as they did their humanitarian job toward their country.
إن عدم جدية المجتمع الدولي في إنهاء المعاناة الإنسانية في سوريا على مدار 5 سنوات، وعدم إظهار نية حقيقية لمحاسبة المسؤولين عن الانتهاكات بحق الإنسانية.
The lack of any seriousness on behalf of the international community to implement or to find a solution in Syria and to hold the criminals accountable for what they did.
ومنها انتهاكات قد تصل إلى جرائم حرب، ومنها استخدام السلاح الكيميائي وغاز الكلور رغم حظره بقرار من مجلس الأمن.
Including violations that can be proven to be war crimes, such as the use of chemical weapons and of chlorine gas, in spite of it being banned by the UN Security Council.
وحسب التقارير الصادرة عن الأمم المتحدة، فإن المسؤول الأول عن استخدام الأسلحة الكيميائية في سوريا هو النظام السوري، وداعش استخدمته مرة واحدة في مدينة مارع.
According to independent reports, the number one party responsible for the use of chemical weapons remains the Syrian regime. ISIS has indeed used chemical weapons, but it was only one time, and that was in Mara'.
ولكن عدم جدية محاسبة المجرمين والمسؤولين عن الانتهاكات في سوريا ساهم من ازدياد عمليات العنف وزيادة عدد المحاصرين في سوريا، حتى وصل عددهم اليوم إلى 1500 محاصر.
And so the absence of any accountability of these different crimes has led violence to explode and expand, and for people under siege to increase significantly.
حوالي 1,500,000.
And reaching 1,500,000.
إن المحاصرون اليوم داخل سوريا عامة وفي حلب خاصة يعانون أشد المعاناة.
Those besieged in Syria today, and specifically or particularly in Aleppo, are under the harshest of conditions.
فبعد انتهاء الهدنة الأخيرة في 23/9/2016 تعرضت مدينة حلب وهي تحت الحصار من قبل الميليشيات الموالية للنظام السوري، وتعرضت لأشد أنواع القصف، واستخدم سلاح جديد وهو القذائف الارتجاجية.
After the latest cessation of hostilities collapsed on September 23rd, the besieged part of Aleppo received very significant and very severe bombardment, including the usage of a new type of bombs, bunker buster bombs, I think.
القذائف الارتجاجية. هذه القذائف استخدمت أول مرة في مدينة حلب، وهي قذائف مخصصة لاستهداف الملاجئ تحت الأرض.
So these bunker busting bombs were used for the first time since September, and they were used in Aleppo.
حيث تعرضت مدينة حلب خلال 15 يوما من الغارات المكثفة، يعني وصل عدد الغارات تقريبا إلى حوالي أكثر من 1200 غارة جوية.
So over 15 days, Aleppo received more than 1,200 air raids,
منها 19 غارة بالقذائف الارتجاجية،
out of which 19 used the bunker busting ammunition.
وحوالي 200 استهداف بالقنابل العنقودية والأسلحة والقذائف الفوسفورية.
200 used cluster bombs and thermal weapons.
وأيضا خلال هذه الفترة استهدفت 4 مشافي من أصل 6 داخل مدينة حلب.
4 out of 6 hospitals in Aleppo were targeted,
بالإضافة إلى محطة المياه الوحيدة.
in addition to the one water station in the city.
كان عدد الإصابات أكثر من 1000 جريح داخل المدينة، أكثر من 300 إلى الآن بحاجة إلى إخلاء طبي سريع، وإلى الآن لم تستطع الأمم المتحدة من إجلاء هؤلاء الجرحى.
There were more than 1,000 injured during these airstrikes. Out of this, 300 are in need of emergent evacuation, and they still remain in Aleppo, and the UN has not been able to evacuate them.
حلب اليوم مهددة بكارثة إنسانية. إن الاحتياط الغذائي والطبي والإسعافي الموجود داخل مدينة حلب قد يعني الحد الأقصى لنفاذ الكميات هي حوالي 20 يوم تقريبا.
Aleppo is facing a humanitarian catastrophe. All the supplies, medical, emergent medical, food supplies and stocks are depleting very quickly, and they may be completely gone within 20 days.
300,000 إنسان مهددون بالموت، أكثر من نصفهم من النساء والأطفال.
300,000 people are facing imminent death, half of whom are women and children.
لذلك مطلوب اليوم من الجميع الموجودين في أمريكا وأوروبا بالتحرك للضغط على المجتمع الدولي لإنهاء معاناة المحاصرين في مدينة حلب وريف دمشق وحمص.
We ask everyone in Europe and in America to mobilize and pressure the international community to end the suffering of people besieged in Aleppo, in Homs.
ويجب علينا جميعا وضع يدنا بيد بعض للتحرك لإنهاء معاناة أهلنا وإنهاء الكارثة الإنسانية الحاصلة الآن في سوريا وفلسطين واليمن والعراق والصومال.
We should all stand together and strive to end the human suffering everywhere in Syria, in Palestine, in Yemen, and in Somalia.
أعتذر عن الإطالة، شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you. Okay, we can take a quick Q&A. Oh, okay, here. We have mic runners, okay.
عربي ولا انجليزي؟
Whatever you prefer.
اوكي. ويلكم تو بوسطن. اول شيء اهلا وسهلا فيك ببوسطن. بس بدي اسالك شو منظورك لفوز ترامب هلا بالولايات المتحده كرئيس؟ So in English, what do you think of Trump being president, and how is that going to affect politics in Aleppo, in Syria, from your standpoint? Thank you.
هلا بصراحة في كتير محطات تلفزيونية أو مجلات بالعالم قبل التصويت حكوا معنا وسألوني شو منظورك للرئيس اللي ينتخب جديد في أمريكا. فأنا كان جوابي واحد إنه هذا بالأصل هو شأن سياسي وشأن داخلي أمريكي. هو بتوقع نحن كمنظمات إنسانية ما لنا أي علاقة وما لازم نعلق عليه بالأصل.
So, to be honest, I was asked by several media outlets, magazines and TV stations and so on before the elections where we stand on the American elections, on the different candidates. And my question was always that we as humanitarian organizations would not interfere in an internal American affair.
أول شيء شكرا كثير لك، متشرف كلياتنا بوجودك معنا. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to ask you بحاول بالعربي, what is the most important thing that you need from people, kind of help? Is financial or support or activism, and what is the difficulties you face? سؤالي إنه شو أكثر شيء بتريده من العالم هون واللي بأوروبا؟ في كتير ناس هون ناشطين وبريدوا يعملوا شيء. وشو الصعوبات اللي بتواجهك؟ صعوبات مادية كوايت هيلمت، كالقبعات البيضاء. شو هي الصعوبات؟ صعوبات مادية ولا يعني ممكن تشرح شو كيف ممكن الناس get involved إنه يتدخلوا أكثر ويساعدوا أكثر؟
لا بصراحة المطلوب من الجميع طلبت له قبل شوي إنه مطلوب منا كلياتنا نتحرك، بالذات إنه موجود معنا ناشطين. لازم يكون في وقفات مستمرة أمام الأمم المتحدة، أمام السفارة الروسية، أمام السفارة الإيرانية، أمام أي حدا عم يشارك بالحرب في سوريا، لحتى نقدر نوصل رسالة للكل إنه بكفي حرب، بكفي دماء. لازم اجى الوقت اللي يتحاكم عليه، يتحاكم فيه المجرمين. وهذا الشيء إذا ما كان في تحرك وضغط شعبي على السياسيين ما راح يكون في تحرك جدي من المجتمع الدولي لإنهاء معاناة السوريين بسوريا. هاي المطلوب من الناس الموجودين بأوروبا أو بأمريكا. الصعوبات اللي عم تواجهنا بسوريا.
The first thing that I always say, and especially since we have many activists here today, is that we would always ask for applying public pressure on everyone who is responsible or who is running the war in Syria. So rallies and sit-ins in front of the UN, in front of the Russian or the Iranian embassies should always be held, and the message should be enough with the war, enough with the bloodshed, and those criminals responsible for the human rights violation should be held accountable for what they did.
الصعوبات اللي عم تواجهنا بسوريا هي مثل ما ذكرت الضربات المزدوجة هي أكثر صعوبة بتواجهنا، لأنه هي بتكون السبب الرئيسي لفقدان أصدقائنا وفقدان عدد ضحايا كتير كبير بكل مرة.
The biggest problem we face on the ground in Syria is the double tap airstrikes. This has led to so many different casualties, unnecessary casualties among civilians and among our friends and colleagues.
We have a question here. شكرا لكل جهودكم، وشفت الفيلم الوثائقي على نتفليكس وايت هيلمت الخوذ البيضاء، وكان كثير انفورماتيف لكل اللي ما بيعرفوا شو اللي عم يصير. سؤالي هو اللي شو اللي بتتوقعه او شو اللي بتريده من اللي مقيمين في سوريا؟ هل يعني في ناس عندي قرايبين بيقولوا هي بلدي، انا مو لازم اترك هالمكان، وفي ناس بيقولوا لا نترك مشان نعيش، مشان يعني نعمر.
خليني بسترجم. Thank you very much for what all you do and what all you did. I've watched your documentary on Netflix and it was great. Thank you. My question to you is, I have family in Syria. What do you say to them? What do you expect them to do? Some want to stay and say they say this is our country, and some want to leave just to get a better life and for the betterment of their own selves. So what's your opinion? Where do you stand on that?
يعني أنا ما بعرف كيف بدي أجاوب على السؤال. أنا موجود بسوريا، يعني أنا من أسبوع تقريبا طالع من سوريا. كنت شو اللي بريده من أهلنا بسوريا؟ بتوقع أهلنا بسوريا وكل الموجودين حاليا بسوريا ما بتوقع في حدا قدم أكثر من اللي هني قدموه. يعني قدموا الدماء وقدموا يعني ضحوا بالمال، ضحوا بأطفالهم، ضحوا بمنازلهم، يعني ما ضل شيء عندهم يقدموه. توقع نحن اليوم نحن واجبنا نحن بنسأل نفسنا شو رح نقدم لأهلنا بسوريا، أفضل ما نسألهم هني شو بدكم تقدموا أنتم.
That's a very hard question to answer. I personally was in Syria a week ago, and what can I say? People in Syria have sacrificed everything, their blood, their children, their houses, their money. It's probably better to ask what we can offer to people in Syria, not the other way around. Last question.
مرحبا. بالعربي رح أحكي afterwards. My question is the following. You just mentioned that the food will end in Syria in 20 days. So I come from Jordan and I live there, and we have the ability to make a fundraising and give it to Syria. So the question here is, how do we make sure the money goes to the right people? Right. سؤالي بالعربي هلا أول شيء شكراً كتير على مجهودكم اللي عم تعملوه بسوريا. تاني إشي هلا أنا جاي من الأردن من عمان. سؤالي هون هلا نحن عنا القدرة نعمل fundraising لحلب، بما إنه حكيت إنه يعني راح البيسكس حيخلصوا ب20 يوم، فكيف بنعرف إن إذا بدنا نعطي المصاري للأشخاص الصحيحين، يعني نتأكد إنه المصاري عم بيروح للجهة الصحيحة؟ شكراً.
أتوقع شكراً كثير لكم. هلا كيف نعطي مصاري لأشخاص صحيحين؟ صار في كثير منظمات معروفة بتشتغل داخل سوريا وبتشتغل في حلب، وفي منظمات تانية موجودة بأمريكا كمان عم بتوصل لمدينة حلب، وفي منهم هي المنظمة الطبية السوري الأمريكي سامز بس اسمها، وفي منظمة كرم بعرفهم أنا، يعني هود اللي بعرفهم بأمريكا. في منظمات أخرى موجودة أيضا بأمريكا عم توصل لمدينة حلب. بس السؤال شو نحن يعني نتوقع شو قد حجم الأسعار فرق من شهرين لهلا بحلب؟ يعني نحن قبل الحصار كان سعر برميل الديزل بحلب حوالي $100 تقريبا. اليوم سعر برميل الديزل $2000. يعني الأسعار ارتفعت 20 ضعف. يعني إذا بدي أقول ولا هو شيء استثنائي، يعني ما بصير ما لازم يشبه عليه. باكيت الدخان اللي كان حقه مثلا 5 دولار تقريبا، او ما في $5، كان حوالي تقريبا 70 سنت او 80 سنت، اليوم حقه $100 بحلب. يعني كيلو تقريبا، يعني فيني اقول الاسعار ارتفعت في مواد ارتفعت بين 20 ضعف، في مواد ارتفعت حوالي 100 ضعف. يعني شد ما جمعنا اموال، هل هو هذا الحل؟ لا، ما هذا الحل. الحل هو يكون في ضغط حقيقي على السياسيين لاتخاذ قرارات حاسمة لتحريك ضميرهم شوي، يعني ويتحرك ضميرهم شوي لحتى يضغطوا على النظام السوري، ويضغطوا على النظام الروسي لحتى يفكوا الحصار عن المدنيين لإدخال المساعدات لمدينة حلب. هذا هو الحل.
So there is indeed a number of organizations that are guaranteed to be able and operational to deliver aid to Aleppo. These include SAMS, or the Syrian American Society, and Karam Foundation. These two I definitely know that are trustworthy. However, let me tell you something. The prices of different supplies in Aleppo have really spiked over the last few weeks. To give you some examples, a barrel of fuel was $100, now it's $2,000. A pack of cigarettes, even though this is not the best example, but just to give you an idea, it used to be 70 or 80 cents, now it's $100. Some supplies have jumped 20-fold, some even 100. So the solution is really not by fundraising and by collecting money and aid, but rather by pressuring politicians to end the Russian and the Syrian siege against Aleppo. This is the real and actual solution. Thank you, everyone.
Our last speaker and performer for tonight has made her way to the US in 2013. An extraordinary young woman who was able to get a scholarship in Illinois while she was still living in Aleppo with no electricity in the war zone. Since then, she has taken advantage of every opportunity. She is now completing her master's at DePaul University with full scholarship. Today, at age 25, she has performed at the White House, the United Nations, and around the world. Recently, she performed for the first Scottish minister, for Queen Rani of Jordan. She is a perfect example of how generosity and opportunity can be matched with human potential. Please welcome Mariela Shaker.
First of all, thank you so much, Harvard Arab Weekend, for allowing me the opportunity to share my story and music with you all today. It's truly a great honor. I was one of these young people in Syria whom their dreams were vanished and demolished in the war. While I was in Aleppo, I was running under bombs and mortars falling. I was desperate to find my way to internet cafes due to the huge lack of electricity and power, just to send my applications to different programs and universities. And I was beyond happy to hear that I got accepted with full tuition scholarship for my bachelor degree in music performance. Thank you. I graduated last year and I got another scholarship to do my master at DePaul University. Unable to return back home, I was granted asylum and I received my green card in the US, and it's truly a great occasion to express my deep gratefulness to the American government and people for saving my future and opening fascinating doors for the flourish of my career. Thank you. Since I arrived here, I have been working so hard to achieve success in the music world and to advocate for my Syrian colleagues and friends. I was named as Champion of Change for World Refugees, and I was honored at the White House. I also have got some wonderful opportunities to perform at the Kennedy Center, United Nations, Carnegie Hall soon, among many others, to raise awareness about the Syrian crisis. Although I feel safe here, I live in a constant fear about my family and friends in Syria who are still struggling and surviving with the basic necessities of life. I wonder if they will be alive tomorrow. Just about a couple of months ago, our neighbor, a girl of 17 years old, was killed by mortars falling. An hour before that, she phoned my mom to visit. Fortunately, my mom was asleep and she was saved by a miracle. I feel powerless to change the current tragedy ongoing in my country. However, I believe so much in the power of music to remove barriers between people and nation. It's the bridge which has brought me to this country, and I will keep performing to tell the story of my suffering country and people. May this music help healing the pain our world has felt. Tonight, I would like to share with you one of my favorite music pieces, a theme from Schindler's List by John Williams. This very expressive piece, which commemorates the tragedy of Holocaust, it reminds us of our humanity and moves us to act. And I very much hope you will enjoy this performance. One last point I would like to say that I had some sad news as I was planning to play a totally different program with my Syrian pianist, Raed Nicholas, but sadly we had some issues with the visa which prevented him to be here tonight. And I'm truly grateful to be here tonight with you, and I'm so thrilled to have started this program with some Fairuz songs. Anyone here doesn't like Fairuz? Anyone here doesn't like Fairuz? Please tell me. For the someone who said he doesn't like it, I would like to say that I don't think it makes you a great artist if you insult other artists. It's really disrespectful and off-putting. I would like to quote Miss Obama, who said recently, when they go low, we go high, and I choose to go high tonight. Thank you so much.
tonight.
We just want to say we have a student networking event next door and it goes on till 11 p.m. So please join us for some snacks and networking. Thank you.